Hey gamers, we're back with another episode of Let's Create a Competitive Card Game, the Card Art Edition. Today we'll be taking a look at some new concepts, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so last episode we took a look at the final concept for Relic 14, and in the previous episodes we did take a look at the initial concepts for both Relic 18 and 19. So the artist did send over some second concepts, so that is what we will be taking a look at today. So yeah, let's go ahead. Now this is the initial concept for Relic 18, and just to reiterate what the effect and the art description was that I gave to the artist, the effect for Relic 18 was that whenever you dealt damage to a card with life, that amount would be increased by 1, and the description which I gave the artist was that I wanted a sword that looked like it would do more than just cut you, and I mentioned that maybe the sword should have spikes or something on it, and I also mentioned that a warrior should be using it. Now, my initial idea for this art description came from watching zombie movies where you always see the bat with some nails coming out of it and maybe some barbed wire around it, and the guy goes around swinging it. So that's where I came up with the idea with the sword and spikes. Now, jumping into this initial concept, the one that we did actually end up choosing was the third image here. Now, I did like the first image. However, this sword reminded me too much of the Flaming Swordsman sword, so for that reason alone, I kind of X'd that out. Now, the second image, honestly, I did not like this at all. When paired next to both of these images, this one honestly just doesn't stand out. However, after looking at it a bit more, I have started to like it. It does seem like a primitive, primitive barbaric weapon, kind of like maybe a club or something like that. However, yeah, this third one is just so much better than this one. Now, someone did mention that this third image here looked like a holy sword, and I can definitely see that, how the sword comes up, it tees out, you have these semicircles, or I guess a full circle here, and these, I'm guessing these are spikes, but yeah, it definitely gives off the vibe of maybe some light or something like that. Now, what was I expecting from the second, concept for Relic 18? Now, I was definitely expecting the artist to add in a little to a lot more detail, similar to how she's done with all the other images, save for Relic 14. So I am expecting to see exactly this with a lot more detail. Now, something that I did not mention that I am maybe a little bit worried about is how long this sword is. From this image here, it doesn't seem very long. This is a very, very short sword. But yeah, with all that said, let's go ahead and hop over to the second concept from Relic 18. Alright, so this is the second concept for Relic 18, and I can already say I definitely do like this a lot. Now, let's start off with what I like about this. I like the detail added here. I like the actual drops of blood it looks like coming off of this sword. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure if on card art you are allowed to show blood. I have to actually look that up, but I definitely like the blood coming off of this. I do like how around the handle here, that's probably not the right word for a sword, but I like how it has this this steel here that has these spikes on it, almost as if it's brass knuckles. So if the guy wanted to, and if he could like punch somebody in this would act like brass knuckles. And this could also act as a way to deflect someone else's sword or something. If they were hitting down, you could block with your fist, I guess. This here, this spike here doesn't actually seem very practical. Like, what would this be for other than to cut you, the user? So that's interesting. I definitely like the shape of this sword. Yeah, this is a good image. I like this a lot. Now, one concern that I still do have is that this seems very short. If you compare the size of the arm here with the sword, this is a very, very short sword. And something else to mention is you can definitely see the holy vibes this time coming from the sword with the way, I guess, this light burst is here in the background. So yeah, I can definitely see this maybe being a holy sword, but with the way this is shaped and the spikes and everything, I'd say there's really nothing holy about this sword. So yeah, that is my thoughts on this concept, and what am I expecting from the next concept for Relic 18? Well, I'm just expecting more detail, as when I do like a concept, the artist, she just really focuses on adding more detail. Now, something I did just notice is this doesn't appear to be straight. Like, so it comes up here, then there's sort of this curl in, which makes it seem off-centered. Just this part of the sword, it makes it look like the whole sword just shifts in this direction after it's coming up here, and then yeah, let's just go this way. So I will bring that up to the artist. Other than that, yeah, this is a really good concept. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and compare the initial concept with the second concept side by side. Alright, so these are the side by sides for both concept, the initial concept and concept 2 of Relic 18. So yeah, you can see that essentially the artist has done what she always does, which is from one concept to the next concept, sorry, the detail is improved and everything really looks pretty much the same. Now, for this specific image, you can definitely see some differences in both of these concepts. For instance, the sword is turned around in the second concept, if that makes sense. So before you had the curve here, whereas with the guy holding the sword, the curve is here. She also added some spikes on this curve here, so before there wasn't any there. And here, I guess you really wouldn't be able to tell from this initial concept without the coloring, etc. But I thought the sword would just be a straight blade with spikes coming out of it. But no, the blades are done in a way where they are spiked, so there is just no full blade here. Though I guess you can technically say this is a full blade, but what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't come straight down, like it spikes in, as opposed to a straight blade with spikes coming out. Now let's see what else has changed here. So you definitely get a better feel for what this teething is here, as I wasn't too sure how that was going to translate. However, yeah, it definitely translates over here. There's a lot of little subtle things in here that I'm not sure would actually make sense on a real sword, like just this huge circular piece of steel here. Like, what would the purpose of that be on an actual sword? I don't think the guy wielding this cares. This thing just looks very destructive and nasty. So yeah, overall, I do like this concept, and I am looking forward to the next concept for this image. Next episode, we will have the second concept for Relic 19. So yeah, if you like these videos, be sure to like, subscribe, and all of that other good stuff. Thanks.